Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good morning. Welcome to Genuine Business Stories Podcast. Today we've got Eric. Eric's a Marine Corps veteran who lives in the Waller area for 15 years with his wife and 3 daughters. He's a passion for art, photography, videography, and cinema, and not only use these skills to earn a living, but to also give back at his church and his local 4-H and FFA organizations. He also runs a small cattle company, raising show cattle and beef cattle locally, and volunteers as a director with the Waller County Fair. In his spare time, you can find him in his pastures caring for his animals or catching a movie with his wife. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing today, professionally and personally.
Well, like you said, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm also a retired trucker. I did that for about 27 years. I got out of trucking to go work in the church, and I just went full time as a photographer and videographer a year ago. That was my side hustle while I was working at the church. I was a executive pastor and a youth pastor. And currently today I'm doing photography and video work full time, as well as doing cattle.
Well, fantastic. And Eric, it's been great getting to know you through our WOMTech networking
Yes, sir. Same
group
here.
in that. So what brought you to Waller?
Well, just to be brief, I needed a change. I hit a low part in my life. I actually became homeless. And once I got back on my feet, I said, you know what, to avoid becoming homeless again, I got to shake things up. And I was still trucking then, and some friends of mine said, hey, come to Texas, see if you like it, do your time off there. But we think you're gonna love it. And they weren't kidding. I think I spent about six months coming here, doing some time off, looking around, getting to know things. And I was like, I found where I belong. And it was just a feeling.
With your cattle business, it feels like it kind of hits your personality pretty well.
Yes.
So when did you start noticing, and what did you see that brought you to the passion of photography and videography?
Well, growing up, I was an artist. I loved doing comics, all things art, painting, chalk, pastels. Like I was a legit artist. And but trucking became my passion. And my wife kind of forced me to retire. I couldn't do trucking as a father and a husband like I used to. And when I actually got out of trucking, I became depressed. And I needed to find something to replace trucking. And so I got back into doing art, but I did art all my life. So that passion wasn't there anymore. And so I started taking photos with my cell phone. And for some reason, I just started loving it. And so I asked her to buy a camera. She said no immediately. And she said, if I can take pictures with my phone for a year, then I can buy a camera. So I started that journey on trying to be a photographer with the cell phone, which was difficult, but I learned the basics. And one Christmas came and she gave me a box, and I was like, well, what's this? And I opened it, and it was my first camera.
Well, that's fantastic. When did you start getting a glimpse into the fact you could earn a living doing this?
I would say 7 years. 7 years of actually being a photographer. That's when I figured once I started getting asked to do jobs with the camera, that's when I figured I could. And then when I got burnt out doing ministry, it became a necessity. I had no choice. It had to make money. And that's when I started really pushing it to make money.
So at Whaley Photography, tell me some of the stuff that you, some of the jobs that you take on.
Well, the bulk of my jobs are doing senior photography, senior graduates, real estate, commercial real estate, residential real estate, and I also do a lot of photography for the show cow industry and for our Waller County Fair.
So, what have been some of the challenges you've seen in your business, and share with us kind of how you've been able to figure out how to start growing your business like you wanted to?
The main challenge is, the one lesson that I really learned was it doesn't matter how good you are. You have to get in front of people. They have to know you. They have to trust you. So that was the challenge for me, was getting in front of people and being patient enough to let those relationships grow to get the work. Because I used to think, man, like I know what I'm doing. I'm good at what I do. Why am I not getting hired more? It's relationships. It's people.
So what are you involved with right now to help with your relationships?
I go to networking events, but the thing that I think that really helped me was I joined WOMTech. And at first I didn't want to do it because I was like, WOMTech, well, hey, isn't that for women? I didn't want to join a women's networking group, but I joined the group and it did two things for me. It got me out of my shell to start talking to people, and I learned to network with people. And those are the two things that really got my business to grow, was being part of the group, learning from other businessmen and women on how they do things, and grabbing little bits and pieces from what they did, incorporating that into my business to help my business grow.
Yeah, I remember the first time you came, you and your daughter had come, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your daughter's a pretty successful realtor.
She is. She works hard at it, and but I wish I can be as stubborn as she is sometimes. She's very stubborn, but the way the effort that she puts into it, the main thing she does is build relationships. She does that better than I do. And I'm getting a lot better at it, though.
I think you're better at it than you think you are. I know that everybody in the group has enjoyed having you in that group. And me, because it is primarily a women's group, I've sure been glad to have some milk.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it. I think the only thing I would say is, like, I wished I lived closer, because I'm an hour away, and that's what blows my mind. I'm literally only 27 miles away.
Yeah.
But it takes an hour and some change for me to get to Montgomery from where I live. And so I'm out in the sticks, and but I do have to travel in to get work. And I think that's the thing. If I could change something, it's to take my property, my cattle, and move it closer. I would in a heartbeat, but it's still, all in all, it's a perfect group for me.
Well, good deal. So your involvement with your church, your 4-H, your FFA, has that shaped in any way how you conduct yourself and run your business?
Yes, it does. So being an introvert, been thrust into ministry, which was odd to me. Is like I don't want to say it wrong. I didn't like people, but being in ministry, you have to learn to love people. So taking that love for people that I developed into the business world and into dealing with volunteering for 4-H and FFA, it's that love of people that I've developed that's helped. You got to have a love for people to deal with people. And I think that's the biggest thing, is it taught me to love people.
Yeah. So what gives you that passion to work in the community at the various organizations?
Just want to make a difference. I grew up with my mother and father. My father wasn't always the best dad on the planet, but the thing that I had in my corner, I had a lot of mentors. And I think if it wasn't for mentors like my uncles, mentors in the church, mentors from Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, without those mentors and my coach, it shaped me to who I am today. So I want to give kids that don't have that just an option. Like, yes, you might have your father or your mom, or you don't have either one. just want to help kids grow and to be the best that they can. And that's why I fell into 4-H and FFA and coaching. It's just to give kids that mentor that I had, because that changed my life.
Yeah, and if I recall right, you were also a youth minister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I was.
And how many kids do you have?
I personally, I have 5 daughters and 1 son, so 6 total. And, so dealing with them, dealing with kids, I also coach at Rose Hill Christian School, and just, it's always children. And I was in denial that's where I belong, is with children. So I would do it like, yeah, that's not what I'm supposed to do, but I'll do it. But that's what I'm supposed to do.
Rose Hill Christian School.
Mm-hmm.
The gates, I haven't been out there in a while, but originally when that school was built, Larry Edwards was out there is there. My family had ties back there, and my dad at that time owned a welding and fabrication business, and I don't know if they've had to replace them, but Dad built those gates.
Nope, they're still there.
Yeah, well, Dad
they're
built
still
those
there.
gates.
They still look good as new.
Well, good deal.
Yes, sir.
So, daughters and 1 son.
Mm-hmm.
Was the son pretty much outnumbered, or did they take care of him?
They took care of him. He's still,
Is he the
he's
baby of the family,
he's not
or?
the baby. He's the second oldest.
Yeah.
But he's the most babied.
I bet he was protective, though, of his sisters growing up.
Very, extremely protective. He had to be. He had to be pretty tough too, being the only boy.
Yeah. With your involvement in your kids and your being a youth pastor at times, there seems to be a passion towards the youth. Have you found yourself in a position where you get to mentor anybody?
Yes. I still, even kids that I met, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I still have conversations with them today, and they're grown up. And which is weird, because I meet them as, 12-year-olds, and now they're married with children, and they still call on me from time to time for advice. And so it's just like, having, more kids.
Yeah.
On top of the ones that I have. And it's a neat thing, though, that they still value you enough, or the positive effect that you had on their life, they value you enough to keep you involved in their life. So,
Well, that's good. So let's talk a little bit about your cattle ranching.
okay.
How did you get into cattle ranching, and what do you love about it?
Well, I got into cattle ranching through ministry. My former boss, friend, pastor, he owns a cattle business. I forgot the number of cattle he had, but I used to help him work cattle. And I learned that I love working cattle. And that's how I got into it, just from off of that. Then one day, one of the girls was like, in her senior year, she's like, I think I want to show cows. We never done anything like this in our life. And my boss gave me a show cow for free. And that's what started me, was him gifting us a show cow. And we got into that world, and sometimes I want to call him and be like, why did you do that?
So what does a day look like for a cattle rancher, as far as how many cows do you have? And
Well, I only have 30. I have 30 registered Angus and Brangus cattle. And I have 1 red Angus and 1 maintainer. So I got about 30 head. And with everything else that I do, it's early mornings and late evenings. In order to make sure everything else is taken care of, they got to get taken care of first. So you get up at 4 a.m., you get out, you feed, make sure the water's good, take care of all the cows, then you go out and do your regular stuff, and then before you go to bed, you're doing it again. And then mixed in between there, you have emergencies. They get out all the time. They get sick, just like children, they get injured. You got to take them to the doctor or the vet. They die, accidents happen. It's a lot of work, but the joy of taking care of an animal, not just an animal, but the property, the land, the wildlife that comes along with it, that's just something that I truly enjoy.
well, good. So are you breeding cattle too on your ranch?
Yes, I am. We're actually I'm involved heavily with breeding ultra blacks, and they're Brangus cattle, but it's where you cross registered Brangus with registered Angus. I'm interested in that portion of cattle, is I'm an oddball. I don't want to do the same thing that everybody else doing. So I love Ultra Blacks. You get the best of both worlds with Brangus and Angus.
So tell me a little bit about the show side. Are you working with kids for 4-H?
Yes, I am.
And are they showing at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo?
Well, my girls did. We actually had, we got 3 of our cattle this year that will be showing not only in Waller County Fair, but they'll be at all the majors, and as well as the Spring Estate and National Show that's coming up. We'll have a good bit that's going this year. It takes a long time to get the right show cows on the ground that can do good enough, or at least look good enough in a show ring, because you don't want to just take anything there, because your reputation is at stake.
So when I was a kid, one of my best friends since kindergarten, he's still one of my best friends, he had a grand champion rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
So with cattle, do you have kids that will come and actually purchase from you in order to raise a cow for the show, or do you work hand in hand with them, or?
You do both. So like right now, we have 3 that have a good chance. You know, it's not a guarantee to win, but they have a good chance to, especially at Waller County Fair, they have a good chance to win grand or reserve. And so we have a kid that is getting into it for the first time. And so they're showing our cattle for us. And so we're mentoring them. My daughters are helping them with showmanship. We're helping them, you know, with the feedings, the proper feedings, the scheduling, the walking, everything got to do with it. The only thing that we're not doing is providing all the feed. They wanted to do that portion of it because, you know, you show them my cattle, then I'm going to do the feeding as well, but they wanted to contribute. So they said, we'll buy the feed and we'll help with everything else. And so we're excited about that because prior to that, it was my girls was doing all the showing of the animals. Then we had one of our cows for the first time without my girls showing in Waller County, got first in class, but finished 4th in the final drive, which for our first time, we'll accept that. That's excellent.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
So with your business, you breed cattle. Now, do you breed and then sell? Let's say that I wanted to start a cattle farm. Your bloodline good, and when I come to you and go, Eric, I need some cows to get started. Is that part of your business? Or?
It is. So right now, that's my portion of it. The show cow side is my wife and the girls. They're more passionate about that than I am. I'm a reluctant participant on the show cow side because it's hard. But on my side, with cow calf, that's the purpose of cow calf is to sell replacement heifers for ranchers or any, you know, like you said, if you want to get started, I'll say this is the breeder cattle I have. This is what they do. These are the bloodlines. And if you want to buy one, you come purchase him from me. Or on the beef side, selling farm to table, because I'm not big enough yet to sell to, you know, the HEBs of the world and places like that. But I do farm to table beef. And currently I sell, you know, the halves and the wholes and 1/3 and things of that nature. So you can even come out to the ranch, pick out the steer you want and see the steer, see how the ranch, how they're taken care of, the condition of the ranch and things like that. And I'll sell it that way.
So I know the name of your photography business is Whaley Photography. What is the name of the cattle business?
Kingdom Cattle Company.
Kingdom Cattle Company.
Yes, sir.
And you've got a website?
Not yet. The website is coming. The photography business, getting that website up and running, and that's a lot of work I'm learning to get it up and running. So now that we've decided to pursue the cattle industry, so we're currently building that website to get that up and running. So right now everything has been, you know, word of mouth. You know, if anybody called, they'll say, hey, do you got anything available? I'll say yes. And then they'll come check it out and they'll buy. Like right now, I'm out of beef. I don't have any left, but I have a new crop of calves coming. And once they get closer to that point to be sold, then I'll start advertising. Hey, we got this. And
so does somebody come out and will they pick the cow they want you to raise for them if they want the whole cow?
Yes. If that's what I say. So I'll say, hey, I have, I'll say just I have 14 steers available, and they'll come out. They'll pick the steer that they want, and then it'll be fed until it's time to process. And then once it's time to be processed, take it to the processor. Then they go pick it up.
So out of the two businesses, which one's the most fun?
I knew he was going to ask that question. To be honest, I love them both, but doing cattle is more fun for me. I'm an introvert still, despite all of that other stuff. It's just the cattle allow me to wind down, to gather myself, to get myself. Because once I deal with people, it really drains me. And the cattle, they don't want nothing from me.
Just feed them and keep them happy.
Just feed them and keep them happy. So I enjoy, that's like it's part of my business, but it's also my downtime. It's just, you find me out there with them cows. If you come to the house, I'm not inside, I'm out with the cattle.
When I got together with my girlfriend, that was one of the stipulations. Don't let me get hungry, and I'll be you'll love being around me. So
Yeah.
I learned early on, look, if she's getting hungry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just live according to knowledge.
And that's it. That's all I tell Mara. It's like, whatever you want, I'll do. You got it. But I just need to have a camera and some cattle. As long as I can do those two. And it used to be a boat and fishing. I don't have time to fish anymore. So my boat is sitting, but I need a camera and cattle, and I'm good. That's all I need.
So your early morning starts out. Mm-hmm. And kind of walk that through your day, because you've got a busy day with two businesses.
Yes. So you get up in the morning and I make my coffee. I have to have my coffee. Then I'll get the dogs. I'll take them outside. Then I'll go and I'll check all the water, make sure the water is good. Then I'll start feeding all the cows. I used to feed the show cows, but now I don't. My girls do that. And Maximine, he comes over and he takes care of the show cows. So I don't have to do that portion of it anymore. I still lay eyes on them. But once the cattle are good, then I come in, sit down with my coffee. I go over the schedule that my wife lined out for me. So I got business meetings, networking events. If I have photography jobs, it'll be on my calendar. And then I'll head out and do those jobs after getting my gear together. I do the jobs. I come home. Before I touch the cattle again, then I have to edit the photos, edit the video, get those done. Then I have to post to social media because you still have to advertise every single day. Take phone calls for the upcoming schedule again. And then before I even wind down and spend time with my wife, I go out and take care of the cattle. Then I have time for her. That's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Then I get about 15 minutes with her, then she's out cold.
Well, sounds like a busy day.
It's 7 days a week.
Have you found a way to blend your marketing efforts between both businesses?
Yes, I did. Social media. It's all social media. That's the easiest. It's free. And I can do both. I can advertise my photography business while advertising my cattle at the same time. It's weird to do that, but it just is using social media because you can use that medium to do both. You don't have to do I use billboards, but I can't do billboards for the cattle. No, it's social media.
With your photography business, have you created brochures for your cattle with pictures and?
Yes. Matter of fact, that's how people started finding out about the cattle, is me doing videos and taking photos of my cattle and posting them online just for fun for me, not necessarily advertising, but just doing it because I spend so much time with them. And that's how I practice also. And that's people start asking questions. Hey, do you ever sell beef? Do you ever have, steers, or do you sell show cows? And I was like, no, not yet, but stay tuned, it's coming. And then that's when that light bulb started going off. The demand is there. So then you have to put the plan in place. And then you have to go through the steps. And I didn't realize how long it took us 5 years to get to a point to where we're able to sell beef and sell show cows. So it's not an overnight thing. It's the long haul.
Well, I had told my girlfriend that when we got married that I wanted a couple of cattle to raise for my own meat source. She's like, no, I'll fall in love with the cows. She really loves animals. And I said, Baby, I am naming one cheeseburger and the other brisket.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought I was a lot funnier than she thought I was.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir. You can't name them because she's telling the truth. When you care for those animals as a rancher, you have to love them.
yeah.
Because you care for them. You learn that they have personalities and they're all different. They're not the same. You have your favorites and you don't want to get rid of your favorites. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And if they're not performing like they should, you have to get rid of them.
So, what is the most challenging thing about the ranching business?
The most challenging, the cost. The cost is high. There's a slim margin of profit. So once again, if you don't have a passion for it, you're not going to get super rich starting out. You're going to take loss, and you're going to be in the red for a few years before you get to black. And so you have to have that diligence, that patience, to understand, and you got to operate with a plan. If you don't do that, you'll lose out and waste a lot of time. But it's the cost.
Yeah, and my understanding is that has changed quite a bit in the last several years.
Yes.
My great-grandfather was a cattle rancher, and I don't know that it's still there, but in the 90s, one of my cousins come through the Fort Worth stockyards and told me that our great-grandfather's picture was up in there. Don't know that it's still there, but
Yes, sir.
he was in Kansas. Another one of my dad's sisters had raised cattle, and she since then got out of the business, and that was part of the conversation between feed and price.
Yes, it's price. It's price and the on the beef side, it's only a handful of companies that own all of the processing, and they make all the money, and the ranchers are getting shoved out more and more and more. So because of the cost, a lot of people that have been around, their family probably been doing it for 60, 70 years. They're closing their doors and walking away. And then it's the cost to get in it initially is so high. No one's new is coming into the industry because it's too challenging to even get into it, just from buying land. And so it's a tough industry to be in. But like I said, if you're passionate enough about it and you got a plan, it's one of the best industries to be a part of.
So are your cattle a combination of grass-fed and feed-fed?
Yes, mostly grass-fed. I do both, though, and I'm still learning the difference between grass-fed and grain-finished or grain-fed, corn-fed, which one tastes better. So I can cook both, and both taste good to me. So I don't have a preference for either or, but I want to be able to accommodate. If you want grass-fed, I have grass-fed. If you want grain-fed, I got grain-fed too.
So what is some of the difference in the taste that somebody will see between a cow that is completely grass-fed or one that is feed-fed?
Number one is the genetics of the cow, what type of cow you have. That's very important. A Corriente, for instance, is a very lean beef. It's a good tasting beef, but it doesn't taste like Angus beef. It doesn't taste like Wagyu. So that's the number one difference is what type of cattle are you raising? And then also what kind of grass are they eating? If they're out on scrub grass, it's not going to taste as good as somebody that got real good grass. The beef is just going to taste different. And that's the going argument now is North Dakota and South Dakota ranchers say their beef tastes better than Texas because of the grass. Well, I beg to differ. I got the same type of grass you got, if not better, because I put the effort into making my grass great grass. So it's those factors going to. It's not just cut and dry. It's the genetics of your cattle, and then what are you actually feeding them?
Well, good deal. Let's go back to your photography business. Out of everything you do photography on, which one do you find that you have to really, really be focused on? And which one do you find that you've reached the point where you've done it so much that you just kind of can go through the motions and still produce amazing product? Well,
weddings. Doing weddings, you got to focus. It's so easy to get sidetracked and lose focus on because there's so much going on that you gotta remain focused. And I would say to me, all of it, all aspects of photography has gotten the muscle memory of it is easy for me now. That if I don't remain focused, you can easily mess up. But just like real estate, I know I can go into real estate. I just need one lens, a tripod, my camera, and a flash. Get in and out like 30 minutes or less, right? That's good muscle memory. That I know the techniques, and I can just go and I'm gone, and I know the photo is going to be great. But you can't get too cocky though.
Yeah.
Because it'll humble you real quick.
So what would you say was your greatest challenge with your photography business when you started it, and then how did you overcome that going forward as you
The
grew
biggest
your business?
challenge, confidence, having a confidence, or they like to call it imposter syndrome. Am I good
Is
enough?
that fake it till you make it?
Yes.
Imposter syndrome.
Well, that you don't belong, or you're not as
gotcha.
good. You're not as good as, because you can see somebody and your work could be just as good as theirs, but you're not as popular or not as known. So then you say, well, I'm not a good photographer.
Mm.
So it's the confidence that your work is good enough. If you can get your confidence up, then I won't say everything is easy, but it's just overcoming imposter syndrome that I'm not good enough, I don't belong.
So was there a point in your business where you started going, I do belong?
No,
No, you still deal with that?
still deal with that to this day. Still that I'm not good enough, especially when your doors aren't getting knocked down, or you see a photographer that their work is not as good as yours, or it really isn't good, and they shouldn't be charging people, but they're busy, and so then that messes with you. It's like, man, this person is not good, and you can see the difference between that. Then you're like, well, why my doors aren't getting knocked down, and so that messes with you. So it's something that you fight every single day.
And that goes back to probably not, it's not always what you know.
It's who you know and who knows you. Exactly.
For those referral bases. And
Mm-hmm.
I would think that the wedding venue, because of the emotions involved, would have to be the most challenging, and not
Yes.
challenging in a negative way, but challenging in, you at that point when you're doing that photography, this is a life-changing event for that person.
Yes. Well, the challenging part about that is getting in, becoming one of the go-to photographers, because all of the wedding venues, they have people that they've been using for a long time. So it's hard to get into that, to knock that door down. So they will add you to that list of reliable vendors. That's the hardest part about it. Everybody said what dealing with the brides is. That's the easy part, if you know how to deal with people. But the challenge in that industry is getting in to get the opportunities to show what you can do to get more work. That industry is hard to get into.
Yeah. So are you a member of any of our local Montgomery or Waller County chambers?
I think I'm with Waller. And I I don't remember if I'm with Montgomery or not. I think I did that with one of my daughters because she's in Montgomery County. I think I did that, but I am with Waller.
So with Montgomery County, I know we've got several. We've got Southwest Montgomery County,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got Lake Conroe,
Mm-hmm.
in there for chambers. Both are good organizations. If you're not really active for growing your business, I would encourage you to.
Yes, that once again, it's as I go along, I'm learning. You have to be a part of all of these organizations. It doesn't hurt. It only helps. It gets you in front of people. And here's a prime example. I went to one event at the chamber, and I met some people a year and a half ago. Never heard from them again. And they keep me busy now with real estate. And I met them, like I said, a year ago. So it works. You just have to get active and make time and not be afraid. And it does help.
The other thing, the more active I have become in both of those chambers, the more I realized behind the scenes the passion for us as small business owners that the chamber truly has to get our local officials to have their ear to work with them for things that will help the business community and things that are making it challenges. So on top of the relationships, because it'll put you in touch with a lot of business for the commercial side of your
It does.
photography
Yes, sir.
business.
It does. You rub elbows. If you'd have asked me this question, before I moved to Texas, would I ever personally know, mayors and city officials, sheriffs, and not just a sheriff that's in a car, but like the head man? Would I have known any of these people? It would be, nah, you crazy, not me. I'm from little old South Carolina. But being in the business world, you meet everybody, senators and House of Representatives, and not just on a local level either, and athletes and things of that nature. And it's just like, man, my whole life has changed being in the state of Texas.
So what is it that you love about Waller?
It's small. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. It's the capital, but it's a small city, right? Waller is small, and it used to be quiet. Houston is rapidly encroaching on Waller. So that lifestyle of country living is slowly disappearing. But that's the one thing. It's just like being in a Waller County is a large county, very large county, but it's small. You know everybody.
Yeah, I was raised in the Magnolia area, and I've noticed that for Waller to be able to stay small as long as I have is a good thing, because that's the way Conroe, Tomball, Magnolia, all those areas were small growing up out here, and now it is just a blur from one county to the next.
I was just going to say that it's
Conroe's
all connected.
meeting up with Magnolia on 1488 as each city grows. And
yes, sir.
It's getting huge.
And that's what I noticed about, like I said, in trucking, I've been to every state more than once. I know pretty much every highway and back road. But that's the thing that I noticed about Houston. Houston is large. It's a lot of people here, and it's growing, and it's swallowing up all of the other little small towns and cities around it, and they're all a blur. It's like it's one big Houston.
Yeah. So with your trucking, you just said a lot of back roads. Did you get to see a lot of countryside while you were trucking?
Yes, I did. Oh, so beautiful.
So you were interstate trucking?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about some of the prettiest sights that you saw.
Oh, man, believe it or not, being in places like New Mexico, seeing the little actual Pueblo, I think I said it right, Pueblo homes, Indian reservations. To me, that's beautiful. You think the mountains, don't get me wrong, the mountains look good, but seeing the wildlife, seeing elk, just out in the wilderness. I tell you, the prettiest place that I've ever been was Montana. That's a pretty, pretty state. That's a beautiful state. Oh, and the state of Washington is 1A.
Good. Well, I think that it was Montana that most of us got familiar with the TV series Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous, but come wintertime.
It's treacherous. They constantly shut down the highways, and I spent many, 36, 48 hours, sometimes longer, shut down in Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming, places like that, because the roadways are just, but give them some time. They get them cleaned up, and you get on your way and hurry up and get out.
Toughest places to drive a truck in?
New York City. New York City.
Far, far more challenging than Houston?
Yes. Because it's small. It's small. So you take the population of Houston and put it in Magnolia.
Goodness.
That's bad. It's not built for 53-foot trailers. It's still built for horse and carriage. And they've made progressions to change it, but you can tell it was built for horse and carriages. it's hard to maneuver.
Well, no wonder on TV they always look so angry.
And that's a misconception about New York.
Well, everybody thinks we ride horses to
Yes.
get to business here in
And
Texas.
they think
so-
everybody up there is angry. They're the most polite people you'll ever meet, but they don't know you, so they don't talk to you.
Gotcha.
You can be, and I remember when I first went there, so I lived there for 5 years in the Bronx. I was in Manhattan, and it's like, just say 2 million people walking on the sidewalks like ants, and no one is looking at each other. And then you'll see 2 people having the greatest conversation and laughing in that sea of people because they know each other. But other than that, if they don't know you, they won't talk to you.
It's amazing how Hollywood can form our opinions
Mm-hmm.
of other large cities
Mhm.
or areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I spend a lot of time there. Now, don't get me wrong, you go off in the wrong block, you in trouble. But that's anywhere.
Anywhere.
I found that out here in Texas, in some of the small country towns, like you got to be careful where you go or who you talk to. You say good morning, then they want to beat you up for saying good morning, and that happened in New York. My first day I went to hey, good morning. That guy lost his mind on me, like I was a cop or something. I'm like, I'm from little old South Carolina, man. We speak to everybody. We became
so
great
true.
friends after that.
So you've navigated some tough times in your life. You've also seen success. So what role has your family and your faith and your military background, and thank you for your service,
Yes, sir.
Played in your success and getting
discipline.
you through tough times?
Discipline. If you're disciplined, no matter the challenges that you face, you can get through them. It's when you become undisciplined is when it overwhelms you. And that's how I ended up homeless. I lost my discipline. And when I got back into the church, I got my discipline back. And when I got, being a husband and a father, that discipline, the discipline to be a better person, to be kind, to be polite, to put others before myself. It took a lot of discipline to do that. And that's how it is now in the business world. If you're not disciplined, your business is gonna falter. And you can still falter being disciplined, but having discipline just helps to be on point about everything, to be diligent, to be patient. So it's developing that discipline.
Well, thank you for your military service. So tell us a little bit about that. When did you join? How long did you serve?
So I served 8 years in the Marine Corps. I did 4 years on active duty. Then I did 4 in the reserves. And I was with 8th Tanks in my reserve years. So I went in 1991. I was playing basketball in college. And one day I just got tired of waiting on my parents to give me money. So I wanted money. I came up with the bright idea that I'm going to leave college and go home. And I showed up at home and my mom was like, "You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing?" I said, "I dropped out of college, because I need money." And she said, "You got 30 days to get a job or go back to college. If you don't get a job in 30 days, you're going back to college, but you can't live here." And so I tried for 30 days. I didn't get a job. But I had money. And in that process of having money without a job, I almost got murdered. And the very next day, it was on a Sunday. That Monday, I was at the Marine Corps office, and that's when I joined. But I wasn't supposed to go in until September of that year. And then Saudi Arabia happened, and we're watching it on TV. And the very next morning, I got the phone call, "Do you want to go in April?" And I said, "Yes, sir."
So what year did you join?
April 15th, 1991 is when I went to boot camp. Yes, sir. That's it.
Thank you for your service.
I'll do it again.
So what is one successful moment that's really stood out in your mind? And what is one challenging moment in your businesses? And it can be your cattle business or your photography or anywhere in your life that stood out.
One successful moment, I would say just watching a parent cry when they received their photo album that I took of their child. To me, it wasn't about getting that first payment. It was having a positive effect on someone's day. So when someone says they love my photos and they genuinely love it, that's just like, okay, I did my job for that moment. And what's the other question?
What was one of the most challenging moments in your either your life or your business?
And the most challenging moment, I'll say the most challenging moment in my life was coming out of homelessness the right way, and not allowing being homeless to cause me to become addicted to drugs or alcohol. That was extremely challenging for me.
I'm glad that you worked through that, and congratulations on the success that you've had.
Sir,
It's
thank you.
taken a lot of hard work. So what kind of legacy are you hoping that you'll leave with your daughters and your company?
To always be an entrepreneur for my daughters, and to always treat people with kindness, love, and respect. And that's what I want them to see in me, that no matter what happened, I was always kind, caring, respectful, and love people.
So what career paths have each one of your daughters chosen?
Real estate.
Very good.
Every one of them. Like, I have 2 daughters that's in college right now. Well, one girl, she's a chemist, but the 3 that's still at home, they're 2 in college. They got their realtor's license, and they're doing real estate right now, and they're following behind Abby. Because I've always taught them it's okay to get a job. There's nothing wrong with it. But whatever job you do it as best as you can to advance. But I told them, if you want to do certain things, make a certain amount of money, be treated a certain way, then start your own business, because no one is going to do it for you like you would do it for you. I didn't think they heard me, and they're all doing the business thing. And that's one of my proudest moments is, oh, my kids actually paid attention to me. The ones that are in working, with careers, they don't just have a job, they have a career. And then the ones that are starting a business, they're doing a business thing. So that, to me as a father, you can't ask for more than that. Your kids listen.
So how many of your daughters are married?
None.
None?
They like money. Now, the 3 youngest, they're pushing that line. They're all getting engaged on me. They all got engaged at the same time. So that put a lot of pressure on me. I don't know how to take that.
Well, I'm guessing that your engaged daughters, your future son-in-laws, considering you're sitting here and I'm not having this podcast with you at the county jail, they must be all right guys.
Yes.
And
Yes, they have to be, because I won't settle for less for my girls. At the end of the day, it's their decision. But I've been around long enough to know what I want for my girls. I don't want them to have somebody that was like I was before I grew up and changed. No. You can get that. You can start off with the who I am today guy versus going through everything that I went through, or have someone put you through what I put people through, at that point in my life. And so that, I demand that. No, you have to be this type of person to be around here.
all right, so the dynamics. One daughter's a chemist.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, I think you said, 2 daughters in school?
2 daughters in college, and they're realtors. 1 realtor. Then my other daughter, she's in New Braunfels.
Is
She's
she
a
okay
manager.
with the recent floods we've had up in?
Yes, she is. She is. She's a homebody. She don't really go anywhere. She goes to work and goes home. And my son is having a bit of a life in Charlotte, and the chemist is in New York City.
So growing up, the chemist versus the entrepreneurial daughters, those are 2 different personalities. How did those dynamics work?
Well, money. They all like money. And that's the interesting thing, that their career paths are different, but it all revolves around, I have to have this amount of money, because they have needs that they want to do for themselves. So I was telling them, well, you want that, I'm not going to give it to you. So it's money. But it was challenging because their personalities were so different. They all wanted to be the boss of each other. So you got a house full of bosses. Then the number one boss is mom. A lot of fighting.
A lot of refereeing, discipline.
Yes.
So-
That was my role. I was the ref.
Tell me about your son. We've talked about your daughters.
Mm-hmm. My son is the most easygoing person. Sometimes I think he's too easygoing. He's like my youngest daughter. She goes with the flow. It's hard to get her upset. He's the same way. It's hard to get him upset. Even killed across the board. So you never know when he's angry. You never know when he's happy. You never know when he's sad. You just don't know because he's the same no matter what. And that's like my youngest girl. And sometimes they get taken advantage of because they're so easygoing. People like to, the other siblings kind of like boss them around because they don't care. They be like, well, we're not going to do this. We're going to do this. They be like, okay, that's it. Yeah. Okay. But he's just an easygoing kid. He's never been in trouble. Never.
So let's talk a little bit about your wife. And with the kids you've had, I know there's a whole lot of strength you have with your partner there. Now, does your wife run the house, or does she
Yes.
work outside the house? Or
She works in the house. She works at ADT. She used to have to travel to work every day, but now she got in a position where she worked from home, and she's been working from home now for 10 years. And so she's become the boss of everything and everybody. She controls the schedule. She organizes everyone's schedule. You don't do nothing without going through her. You don't buy nothing without going through her. Any questions you need answered, you go through her. So she's like I would say she's the sun to all the planets.
good deal. So I made a mistake. I always ask if the wife or husband work inside or outside the family.
Mm-hmm.
I do this because I think I was about maybe 7 years old or maybe 8, and I looked at Mom and something was said, and I went, "You don't work. Dad is the one that works." We were fortunate enough that I had a mother that was home to raise me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dad worked hard. My mother gave me just a fraction of the stuff that she did throughout the day to make that house run.
Yes.
My mouth never made that mistake again.
Oh no, you can't. Like I said, I'm amazed. I watch my wife because she's employed full time, but she's also a full time mom and a full time wife, and she is involved in 3 different boards right now. Just to watch her manage all of that and still keep a smile on her face and be as wonderful as she is, I like, give me some of that. What you got? All our strength comes from her. I will never, ever question what a mom does. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. I had to have the kids one day by myself, and I lost my mind. I didn't never want to do that again. So a mom's strength is a different kind of strength that we won't understand and should never question.
That is true. So let's go to the lightning round.
Okay.
Tell me your favorite movie of all time.
Oh, that's easy. Jaws.
Jaws?
Mm-hmm.
That remake is just coming out. Are you going to go
Yep.
see it?
Yep.
Good deal. Sunrise or sunset Photoshops?
Sunrise.
What is your go-to tool? Camera, drone, sketchbook?
Sketchbook.
Best place in Waller County to grab a bite to eat?
I don't know if it'll be everybody's favorite, but mine is Backdoor Pizza.
Fantastic. One word to describe your life right now?
Grand.
Fantastic. So, Eric, where can people find you to find your business? Whaley Photography or Kingdom Cattle?
WhaleyPhotography.com. That's my website. Then it's Whaley_photo on Instagram, Kingdom Cattle Company on Instagram, Kingdom Cattle Company on Facebook, Whaley Photography on Facebook. And those are the 2 main things. Oh, and I also have YouTube for my video business is Simple Light Media.
Fantastic.
for YouTube. Yep.
You have any upcoming big projects, events, or anything like that?
Yes, I have this is the biggest wedding that I've ever shot. It's one of my closest friends. He's a retired Harris County sheriff. His daughter is getting married, and they hired me to be the photographer. And that's my biggest upcoming job right now because I can't get that wrong. I'm afraid of him. He gave me that talk. If you get this wrong, me and you're going to have a problem. So, yes, sir. That's my biggest. That's coming up outside of Waller County Fair. That's coming up.
Fantastic. Congratulations to them for the daughter getting married, and to you for doing the photography.
Yes, sir.
Eric Whaley Photography and Kingdom Cattle, I want to thank you for coming in today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
We've enjoyed the talk with you. If we have anybody that'd be interested in sponsorship, please reach out to the radio station. And if you know of anybody that you have that has a good story for their business, then please reach out because we'd love to talk to them.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely will.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Everybody have a great day.
Yes, sir.